What would you wish for if you were Aladdin and had a genie and lamp? Would you wish for your pain to stop now, or to be able to do more of the things that you love? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through the folklore around Disney's Aladdin and then guide you through a process that can help to unlock your inner genie and reduce pain now. Hi, I'm Daniel Degenart from the Rethink Pain Workshop, and I geek out on pop culture healing references and how I can use them to help heal myself and others. Let's get into this week's episode of Pop Culture Healing, Aladdin Edition. Now, Aladdin is a folktale most probably of Middle Eastern origins, compiled around the Islamic Golden Age. And the first English version was in a story called Arabian Nights in 1706. There's been lots of variations of it, but the one that you know the most is 1992 Disney hit with the amazing Robin Williams as the genie. Now, in this movie, the down-and-out Aladdin finds the lamp and pops out this ginormous blue genie that is all-powerful, all-knowing, and he gets 3 wishes. But there are a few ground rules that the genie puts in place. You can't kill anyone, can't make anyone else fall in love with you, and you can't bring people back from the dead. And he had his own reasons for this. But I think this is a really interesting way to look at our own understanding of the world, that even with our own abilities that we have, our own powers that we have inside, you can't change the outside world. You can't kill or affect someone else or bring them up from the dead. All you can do is change things from your own perspective, your own reality. And the genie itself is under one rule, the idea that he's confined in the lamp and can't do anything on his own. He has this immense power and teeny little living space. And he needs the owner to be able to wish his freedom. Now, this is my theory, is that the genie represents our unconscious minds. We think about if our conscious minds is like the tip of an iceberg, our unconscious minds is that big, massive part under the water that's all-powerful and all-knowing. Now, with that idea, we can't change the outside world. All we can do is change our own reality tunnel, our own understanding of that world. And our unconscious minds have an infinite amount of awareness and power. It's finding the specific ways to be able to unlock that power is the challenge. You also need to be very specific with what you want, because you may not get exactly what you expect. That's one of the things with any of the genies in different folklores. You have to be very specific. It's not, oh, I want to stop my pain. Well, if you ask that for a wish, the genie might throw you off into space where you're zero gravity, and then you have to live there for the rest of your life, because the genies are going to look at ways to trick the people at times. And sometimes our unconscious minds can play little tricks on us too. So when you want to unlock that power, you need to be very specific with what you want out of it. Think about what you want, the things that you want to go out and do that you love, instead of what you don't want. Like, you don't want to experience pain, get abducted by aliens, or hit by a bus. Those, the things that you don't want are endless. So that's another nice crossover with that idea of the genie. And then the last thing is that our conscious minds needs to wish and desire freedom for the unconscious mind and actively choose it. And that the unconscious mind is not a bad guy, it's a part of you that you want to be able to connect with. The genie in Aladdin is hoping for that third wish to have that freedom. And I think our unconscious mind, it gets a bad rap sometimes when we think, oh, there's a part of me that just can't stop smoking, or there's a part of me that wants to do the exercise, but I just can't figure out a way to do it. And we blame those parts, that unconscious mind for things. And yet when we look at integrating that unconscious part of our mind and making a connection with it and providing it the freedom to do what it can do, that's when the real change happens. Now, what real life skill or technique is similar to unlocking a genie? Well, the one that I love, it's absolutely the most simplest technique that I've ever learned in any of the things I've done over the years. And it's Melissa Tier's metaphorical two-step. Now, this is 2 steps. The first step is engage in whatever that experience is. So if you notice an experience of maybe a headache, then you just tune in and what comes to mind? What's it like? Well, it might be like a vice grips. And if that's the case, that image, that story, that metaphor, or might be a color, or it might be a sensation, whatever that starting point, just starting with that space. Then the second step is you change it. Maybe that vice grips needs to be opened a little bit, or changing that color, or lifting, or maybe something completely different. But allow your unconscious mind to direct you to find that answer. And the first thing that comes to mind is always the most relevant when we ask specific questions for it. Now, you can just go ahead and start using that right now. Especially if you're someone who is a storyteller or is very visual, this is a great technique, but anybody can get the benefit from it. If, however, you want to be guided through a process for that to help to reduce your pain right now, then just continue to watch this video and I'll teach you how to unlock that inner genie. Now remember, this is hypnotic in nature, so please don't operate any heavy machinery or drive a car. Keep yourself safe, and if possible, go to a place where you can focus on this completely. Now, before we begin, I want you to tune in to that experience of pain, or if it's stress or anxiety, whatever it is that you want to improve. And once you have that tuned in feeling, rate it between 0 and 10. The idea 0 is no pain at all, 10 is the worst you've experienced. All right, you got that number between 0 and 10? Great. Now I want you to pick a number between 0 and the one that you have right now that would show that you made an improvement to how you feel and allow you to enjoy the rest of today more. So the idea of maybe it started with a 6. We always aim for a complete elimination, a 0, but maybe if it was just a 3, you'd be able to feel a lot better. So I want you to pick that mid-range goal for yourself for this video, this technique right now. Got it? All right, now in order for this technique to be effective, I want you to tap into that childhood curiosity. Remember the first time that you watched Disney's Aladdin and imagine reliving that experience right now. I'm going to rub my hands 3 times like that to represent rubbing that lamp of your inner genie. And on the first time that I rub my hands, your eyes will start to get tired. On the second time that I rub my hands, they'll be so tired that you just want to close them. And on the third time that I rub my hands, they will just close and you'll find that you won't be able to open them. Ready? Here's the first rub of my hands as those eyelids start to get tired. Here's the second one as those eyelids get even more relaxed and they just want to close. And as those eyelids get heavier, the eyes close, you can just allow that to happen. And that if you try to open those eyes, they'll just feel so relaxed that you just won't want to open them at all. That's right, if you try, they're completely locked, solid and secure. And now, I want you to imagine that you are walking down a path. As you walk down that path, there are going to be 3 dips in that path going even deeper into that valley below. And as you go down each of those dips in that path, you'll find yourself going even deeper into that focused, relaxed state. You can start to go down that first hill that dip now, settling into that second space where you can be more relaxed and focused than before. Then going down into the second dip, walking even deeper into that valley, into that space where nothing disturbs you, nothing bothers you. And that third and final step, walking down to the bottom of that valley. And as you get to the bottom of that valley, I want you to continue on this path. Notice the things around you. Hear the sounds of the birds and the wildlife and the crunch of your feet on the path. Notice the colors of the trees and the bush and that space where you are. And notice what you see, the feeling, the warmth of the sun on your skin. And as you walk down this path, all of a sudden you hit something with your foot. You look down and you see it's an old lamp. You pick up that lamp and you see an inscription on it, but you can't read what it is. So you start to rub it and poof, out comes your inner genie, this all-knowing, all-powerful inner genie that can grant you a wish to improve how you feel right now. And as you notice that genie, notice what color that genie is. Remember, the first thing that comes to mind is always the most relevant. And as you see and imagine that inner genie in your mind, I want you to tune in again to that experience that you want to change right now. Notice what that feels, looks, or that sense of what that experience is. Because in a moment, when I snap my fingers, you're going to ask that inner genie to make a change. And the first thing that comes to your mind after I snap the fingers is going to be something that takes you into a more comfortable, calm, peaceful place. To make a change to that. You ready? Asking that question and notice what has changed to that experience. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you notice in that image or that idea of that space in your mind? And as you do, find the details of that. And as you pull out and tease out the details of that change that's been made, how does that make you feel? And as you feel that change in your body, where is that change happening? Make that bigger, make it stronger. What's that going to allow you to do more now since that change has been made? And as you focus in on that feeling, make it bigger and brighter, and hold on to that image of that change in your minds now. You can continue to come back to this space anytime that you want. To use that inner genie to make that change quickly and easily to any of the things that you have in your life. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in and out, to anchor in this experience, this space for you to come back to any time that you need. And you'll anchor it by, at the end of that breath, you'll in your mind or out loud say the word peace. And as you do, that experience will be anchored into that breath and that word to be able to easily come back to it anytime that you want. You take that deep breath in now. Building that experience, that change, seeing it even more vivid in your mind. As you breathe out, peace. And as you anchor that experience even stronger than it was before, in a moment I'm going to count up to 5. On 5, you'll be wide awake, alert, eyes will open, come back to the here and now, feeling better than you were before. 1, coming to the surface 3 times, more at peace and calm and relaxed. Before 5, wide awake now. Hi. Now, tune into your body again. How much better do you feel? Great job. Well done. Thank you for interacting with this episode. Now, do you have a favorite movie, TV show, or comic that has a healing ability that you want to experience? Comment below, and I may make a future pop culture healing episode with it. Or just comment below how much better you feel right now and what that experience was like for you. Of course, please like and subscribe to this so that you get more pop culture healing episodes each week. making the choice next week between the red and the blue pill from the Matrix. That's going to be a good one. If you want to watch my most powerful pop culture healing episode yet, that can help to reduce pain, stress, anxiety, click on the Star Wars one right there. It's a force healing video, and that's take you directly to it. The more we all heal, the more we all heal.